On April 27, 1911, over 100 years ago, the ninth child of John and Augusta Patz was born on a small farm near Pound, Wisconsin. Due to the farm life, he was unable to pursue education, watching other children go to school while he faithfully toiled clearing farmland or digging potatoes. His only opportunity for formal education came when he was 7 years old at a one-room schoolhouse. The death of his older brother Elmer and the disablement of his father forced his formal education to end in the 3rd grade. Paul became the primary laborer on their 160-acre farm. The year 1928 became a monumental turning point in Paul's life. At age 17, while he was plowing in a field, Paul began to weep. He realized he was filled with sin and couldn't save himself. He stopped the horses, knelt down, and asked God for mercy and pleaded for Jesus Christ to save him. During the Great Depression, one by one, all of his brothers and sisters left the farm to find work in the city. But finances were so desperate that his mother pleaded with him to stay at home and work to preserve the family farm. And so as Paul pondered his future, she told him that if he stayed, she believed God would bless him beyond measure. Forsaking the pull of others, Paul chose to obey the wishes of his mother. During those hard years of the 1930s and early 1940s, Paul considered several inventions that, if patented, would revolutionize the farming industry. One farm task that Paul faced twice per day was the shoveling and hauling of waste from his 40-cow dairy barn. That difficult and time-consuming task drove him to create an easier way for that necessary job to be completed. As he prayed and planned, God directed, and Paul started work on an invention that could move the animal waste from the barn gutter with the flip of a switch. In 1947, Paul invented the world's first endless chain-link gutter cleaner. The most ingenious element of this invention was a multi-directional hook-and-eye link. Paul obtained the proper patents, and the device became an instant hit with local dairy farmers. Paul immediately promised God that he would go into business and trust God for the results. In 1948, Paul started the Patz Company of Pound, Wisconsin, to manufacture and market his invention. Paul involved his family in the business, and it grew rapidly, capturing 60% of the market for barn cleaning equipment. In fact, production of the hook-and-eye link continues today, and it remains the dairyman's choice of a chain gutter cleaner. The barn cleaner was only the first of Paul Patz's many inventions. He saw God bless his ideas, and Paul became an innovator in the entire farm equipment industry. These unique inventions, born out of adversity to a man with only a 3rd grade education, quickly became a multi-million-dollar success story. True to his sense of God's calling him to a specific mission of Christian service during his early years on the farm, Paul began earnestly to seek what God really wanted him to do with his financial resources. As Paul traveled on business throughout northeast Wisconsin and into Michigan's Upper Peninsula, he developed a burden and a concern for the rural communities throughout that region. He believed God wanted him to use his financial resources to serve those communities. After much prayer, consultation, and help from his family, Paul decided to build a Christian camp for the young people of these barren regions. He found a suitable section of property 80 miles north of Green Bay, located in Dunbar, Wisconsin. By 1960, campsite construction was underway. First, a dining hall, and then a dorm were completed. Mamie, Paul's wife, suggested calling this new ministry Northland. To her, it seemed to be an accurate description of the beautiful lakes and the forest area. The camp would be known as Northland Mission Camp and became incorporated as Northland Mission, Inc. Since the camping facility officially opened its doors in 1961, thousands of young people's lives have been changed because of the vision and sacrifice of Paul Patz. During the early 1970s, Paul and his family envisioned an additional expansion by using the camp's facilities for ministry in a greater capacity. They sensed God directing them toward establishing a 4-year Bible college to further benefit the young people whose lives would be changed through the summer camping ministry, and to give them something that Paul never had, a formal education with the Bible as its core curriculum. The result was the opening of Northland Baptist Bible College in 1976. Today, the legacy of Paul Patz is known by hundreds of students who have already attended Northland Baptist Bible College. That legacy continues as thousands of students have and will be trained for ministries around the world. On November 17, 2000, Paul Patz faithfully finished his course for the glory of God and for the good of others. This uneducated inventor, this person of unlikely success, experienced his finest earthly graduation. Paul Patz passed from this life to his home in heaven, to an eternal legacy, linked in the presence of the God he loved and so joyfully served. Paul's greatest joy was not his invention of the hook and eye link that revolutionized the farm industry, but a link whereby others could hear the same truth that had drawn him to Jesus Christ.
But God, the praises and the honor that I hear this morning, I'm thankful for it, and I pray for the entire faculty and staff and the entire body of students, that they'll be all blessed together with me and my family.